Talk about a failure. We had a whole recording going on, and the power went out, and we lost everything. Hi, I'm Leslie. This is Tania. We are starting over. This is MindScapes717. We're at the beach because we need to be, but we're also drinking because we definitely need to be.
Man, we had a whole thing. I can't.
We were almost done. We were at the end, and we lost everything.
It's just, I can't. Today was the day.
Here we go again. We're going to start over. Do we remember what we even talked about?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
All
of it is gone.
No, today we are talking about triggers and being aware, especially because tomorrow is 9/11, and we're going to talk a lot about veterans, our subculture in the America of the military, and I think that's where we are.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like half gone here. What's happening? I'm sorry. I can't even concentrate anymore. I've completely It's just like the second, third time we're trying to do something, and today the technology ain't about it.
Yeah, it's been a bear. Okay, we're starting. Hello.
Hi.
This is Leslie and Tania, and this is our second take today. We actually had this whole thing done, and then the power went out. We lost it, so here we are.
Technically, this is the third take.
It is the third
take. Because you recorded us talking on your phone.
Exactly.
Yo, I can't.
I know.
Today is one of them days.
It is.
Okay, well.
Hello.
Again, for the third time.
We today are talking about triggers, but we're also talking about because it's 9/11 tomorrow, we're talking about our veterans, and we want to make sure we are talking about our veterans because unfortunately the rate of suicidality keeps going higher and higher with all our veterans, not just those that are coming out of Afghanistan and Iraq, but from our Vietnam time period as well. Some of them from the Korean arena. So we want to make sure everyone is okay. Tania has a lot of vets that come see her for PTSD.
Yeah, they get referred through VA services because I guess they're overwhelmed. But they are coming in 2 by 2, that's for sure. I have probably like a third are either retiring or retired. And they're looking for services to kind of, once they're completely out, try to get the services and stuff because they're really struggling. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad right now for them, and they're also going through some chronic pain and illnesses, and it's really bad for them. Like, I can't even imagine, and like we were saying the first time we were trying to record, there's a lot of privilege in the life of a civilian in comparison to military life, and just hearing these stories that these people probably never served together, aren't in the same spaces, but their story, I mean, it's one of the same. Like, the fact that they have to keep pushing through to get through whatever it is, their job is to live in trauma to survive. We don't live that way in civilian life. Do we survive trauma? Absolutely, every day. But we don't have to fight as hard. Like, our life is not dependent on whether or not we make it out of a country. Like, that's not the life that we're living here. And I think that's something really hard to hear from them because they are told and kind of trained to just get over it. The losses are never discussed. The pain, the sadness, anything that happens, they don't have the privilege that we do to take PTO, bereavement, short-term disability, FMLA. Like, they don't have that. They have to make sure that, like, even to take a vacation, they have to go through all of these hoops and stuff to get through it, and we don't have to do that. So the bare minimum that we do out here, they can't even have that. Like, they can't say, I'm sad today, so I'm going to stay in bed. Like, they don't have that luxury. They're like, oh, well, I am sad, but I gotta go fight this war and do what I gotta do for my troop, for my people, whatever. It's huge privilege that hearing their perspective, I guess it's very unfortunate because then they're thrown into a life that they don't understand.
Yes, and just so you know, it's not, like I said, it's all ages, it's all age groups.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have something we call PTSD, and they know it as soon as they arrive back on shore in America.
Mm-hmm.
But some of our veterans don't even have any signs or symptoms until much later in life. So we're talking about our Vietnam people here. And the best thing to do is to make sure you are self-aware enough to understand what your triggers are. And we were talking a little bit about this. So although firemen are not, part of the military, sometimes it's another culture here in America, right? I mean, we have all our firefighters. It's just a wonderful culture. I mean, it's a brotherhood, just like the military. You become this brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But, I remember when I was a therapist and we had firemen coming to us that had transferred out of New York to different areas because they just couldn't take it any longer, and they needed help with the signs and symptoms of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So obviously, this is funny. We just already went through this, but
we did.
We lost
We're reiterating
it,
ourselves,
sorry.
but
it's just so funny. This is not funny that we fucking lost everything. So PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, there is a lot of historical context relating to veterans. This has over the years very much opened up, and it transcends ages and races and spaces and all of the things you can think of. I mean, you can bring in a child with PTSD, you can bring in a vet, you could bring in whoever you want to bring in, and we could probably talk about something that's traumatic to them. So with PTSD, we have certain criteria, like all diagnoses, some of them including an increased startle response, irritability, aggression, inability to recall bits and pieces of the event, hypervigilance, which is a really big one. And then you have and just kind of like avoidance, nightmares, flashbacks. It's whatever brings us to that moment, because like I feel like I've heard this a lot too, and kind of where I hear with anxiety, right? Our body's like riddled with this almost like time, like what is it, like time, we time travel, our body time travels to that moment when we have a trigger, what we're talking about. And with our body, obviously physical and mental are one of the same, and when there are things that cause us to feel almost like in a danger space or in a moment of like panic, we react to it very physically, which then, right, these triggers, our body is taking something in that is very much dangerous, and like trying to like figure out how to move through it. But those are the things. I mean, obviously there's more we can talk about to kind of, but those are very high on the spectrum of like, these are the things that we really look at, and we can talk about what that looks like and stuff, because it's everywhere, but particularly for veterans and this influx that I'm seeing as far as with my practice, there's a lot of vets coming in for services. From what I hear, the VA is super, like extended out with services, and having a lot of them going through retirement and having to do with everything going from military to civilian life. It's very difficult. Very, very difficult.
Yeah, I think that we have to just throw it out there that anybody can have PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
PTSD, I mean, you can have it from the smallest to the largest event. Doesn't matter. It matters how you take it in. And what your triggers are. And triggers can be anything also. It can use all your senses, all 5 senses.
That is how we learn in our world growing up, so it's definitely very important.
Exactly. And so, what Tania and I keep saying is being self-aware is so important. Being self-aware of yourself, and that self-care is not selfish. When you start feeling a certain way, you have to ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is this something that I can take care of myself, or is this someone I need to talk to about? And we realize that when we're talking about veterans, especially men and women, that there is almost like this machismo, this very macho kind of mindset. Like, no, I can take care of this. I'm a strong person.
Because you have to be.
And because you've had to be. I mean, you've been a soldier. Once a soldier, always a soldier, especially for you lifers. We understand that. My dad, three voluntary tours of Vietnam and shot down and wanted to go back. So I understand you are strong. I understand that you're still a soldier. But the best thing that you can do for yourself and for your family, because you can't take care of others until you take care of yourself, is to be self-aware and to know what your triggers are.
Absolutely.
So that's why we're bringing this topic up, because again, the rate of suicidality among our veterans is way too high, and we understand that there are issues that disallow you to not get the help that you need, because it can affect your job. We understand that. We get it. We don't like it, but that doesn't mean...
I hate it.
It's reality, unfortunately, and so, we have to work with reality.
Right.
So if you can do anything for yourself, is to know your triggers. And triggers can be a sense of smell. You can be watching a movie. You can be watching a war movie. You can be reading a book. It could be words. It could be like
sounds, really loud sounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, when we're talking about 4th of July. And let me tell you, 4th of July didn't bother a lot of people I knew until recently. So you may not even know you have symptoms of this until much later, years down the road, when your mind finally is like relaxed enough, I'm sorry, to actually think about the events that you went through, and is now forcing it on you.
It very much is forced.
And unfortunately, we normalize it. We normalize this response because, again, you're a strong person. You've been through a hell of a lot, and we get that you've been through a hell of a lot. But if you don't stop, pause, think, and then take action on what you're feeling, it can affect your family. It can affect your friends. It can affect those around you, even if you don't think it should. So triggers. How are we aware? How can there's no cure for triggers.
No.
I wish there was.
Me too. I say this almost on a daily basis.
Yeah.
At least 2/3 of my whole caseload is trauma. But yeah, no, absolutely. There's no. But in what Leslie was saying about self-awareness, we always say physical and mental together. A lot of this awareness, sometimes you don't know how you feel, and that's okay. And like I tell a lot of my vets, like, it's fine. If you can't give me words about how you feel, you know what? Let's not do that. How do you physically feel it?
What is that app that we like so much? The Way We Feel?
How We Feel.
How We Feel.
With the little black, and it's like a black icon and a little rainbow heart.
Yeah.
I tell everyone to take it. All my vets and or in
Please,
between.
Vets, take a look at it. How We Feel.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't have the words for it, and sometimes we don't want to have the words for it either, because it's just something that we want to push away. But honestly, if you start actually thinking about it and start finding the words for it, then it can't affect you as much.
Well, because then you can tap in, right? This idea of tapping into your body to tap into what's going on. There is the CBT model of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. At bare minimum, it gives us something to look at. If your behaviors are always tied to your thoughts and feelings, what is going on in your body? Sometimes feelings is not even like, oh, I'm sad. All right, fine. You don't know you're sad? How do you physically feel? Where do you feel it? Head to toe, body scan, go. How's your head feeling? How's your heart feeling? How's your stomach feeling? Extremities? Are they tingling? Are they numb? Is your head flushed? Did you feel dizzy? All of these things that seem very innocuous, and you're like, no, it's fine. I just didn't eat today. Or, well, why aren't you not eating? What's wrong? Something's wrong. You lost your appetite. You're thinking about something, or you got distracted. Your stomach is upset, your heart's upset, your legs are fidgeting, and you can't even form one fucking thought.
Or you're sleeping so much, or you're not sleeping at all. So, you're having hot flashes, male and female, because males can have them too.
Yep.
So, but
what is your
flashes,
mood,
yeah,
appetite, sleep? Those are key things when we talk about mental health, because you're gonna fluctuate all over the place. You can't put a word to it. This app, it's wonderful. We're not sponsored, but wonderful fucking app, because it gives you a little description of the word. Because sometimes we don't know all the words.
Right.
There's so many words. But what we can start doing is physically do your body scan. Because this is how I talk to my vets. I'm like, you know what? You don't have the words. That's fine. Let's not do that. Where do you feel it in your body? Head to toe. Right. Tell me what you feel, and let's work with that. Oh, your heart hurts? What do you mean? What does that mean? What is that doing to you?
What does it look like?
Yeah, what does it look like to you? Because you can tell me something, and I'm not gonna sit here and try to interpret it. That's not a thing I'm gonna do. You're gonna tell me what that feels like. What does it look like for you? And I think a lot of the times that works, at least to get them started. It doesn't solve things, but it does get us started to find where we're going.
Let me tell you, there are so many programs for our veterans out there, and one of them that is pretty strong is this art therapy movement for soldiers. And it sounds stupid, right? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it does sound stupid. But I can tell you, because I've seen it, the impact these art projects have on our veterans. And some of this artwork, it can be photography, it can be actual, hands-on art, it can be mosaics, it can be whatever. It doesn't really matter. Music, therapy. But some of this has been actually renowned and put into like museums because of the actual message that it sends across.
Right.
I saw one, and it was an amazing like sculpture of a person who was holding a head, and inside the head was terrible. It was terrible what was inside of the head. But it doesn't matter, because what happened was this person brought it out from themselves and put it somewhere in the real world, and it helped them on the inside. And that's where you need to be helped. So if you can get it to the outside, whether it's on paper in a journal, whether it's on an app that you're writing about, whether you just need to know the words, whether you want to do the art or the music or whatever it is, or just talk about it. Know your triggers. Be self-aware. We love all of you.
Take care of yourself, please. Yeah. If you don't want to come see one of me, it's fine. Just do what you need to do, because it's not, my world does not fathom how hard it is of just listening to these stories. And again, these people have no connections besides the military. It's the same fucking story. And it's so sad to hear this and see this, but it's so important for you guys to please take care of yourselves, please.
Yes. Self-care is not selfish. You hear me say that every single time. Or you hear Tanya saying, yeah, one of Leslie's favorite things to say is...
I fucking love it. Love it.
So, peace, joy, love. We're here if you need us. MindScapes717. Find us on Spotify. Find us on YouTube,
TikTok, Instagram.
We're everywhere, and we're here for you. So if you have questions, talk to us. We can get you to the right people and people that will care about you. So with that, we are going to say goodbye next time.
Bye.
What are we going to talk about next time?
We're going to keep talking about it, and maybe we can go to see PTSD, some complex PTSD.
That's a great idea. Yeah, so that's what we'll talk about next time, and we will see you then.
Bye.
All right, so that's the end of our podcast, and this is the end of our little video. We did it again. Our third time, I think it's a charm.
I hope so, because I ain't got no more conversation. I am down to my seconds with Miss Heavy Pourer over here.
I know, I do tend to pour my drink strong.
This is why I have her pour it for me.
I guess our tropical vacation is now coming to an end, but we're going on another vacation soon. So
we will be.
We'll be on the beach soon.
Bye.
Till then, see ya.